What if I told you that one of the greatest mysteries in human history isn't buried in a lost city or hidden in an ancient text? It's been sitting right in front of us, in plain sight, for more than 4,500 years. The Pyramids of Giza. They are the last surviving wonder of the ancient world. Gigantic mountains of stone, engineered with a precision that seems impossible, and aligned with the stars in a way that continues to baffle us. Even today, with all our technology, our best engineers and architects look at the Great Pyramid and ask the same simple question: how did they actually do it? Were they the work of brilliant minds and hundreds of thousands of hands, of tireless laborers pushing stone with nothing but ropes, sleds, and sheer willpower under the brutal desert sun? Or could something far more mysterious, a secret lost to the sands of time, be hidden within their story? Some whisper of lost technologies, of forgotten sciences that could manipulate massive objects with ease. And others look to the heavens and wonder if the builders received help from visitors from beyond the stars. Tonight, we peel back the layers of history, archaeology, and speculation. We're diving deep into the sand, stone, and stars to unravel the ultimate ancient enigma. Chapter 1. The Age of Giants. To understand Giza, we first have to understand that it wasn't a sudden miracle. The Great Pyramid wasn't the first pyramid. It was the masterpiece at the end of a long and often difficult learning curve. The story begins around 2670 BC with the pharaoh Djoser. His architect, the legendary Imhotep, decided to stack several traditional flat-roofed tombs called mastabas on top of each other. The result? The world's first major stone building, the Step Pyramid of Saqqara. It was revolutionary. A century later, the pharaoh Sneferu took this concept and ran with it. He was obsessed. His first attempt at Meidum collapsed. His second, the famous bent pyramid at Dashur, had to change angle midway through construction, likely to prevent the same fate. Finally, with the Red Pyramid, Sneferu perfected the smooth-sided, true pyramidal shape. He laid the groundwork. Then came his son, Khufu. Around 2560 BC, Khufu commissioned a tomb that would dwarf everything that came before it. A monument so grand, it would ensure his journey to the afterlife and secure his name for eternity. This was the Great Pyramid of Giza. Originally, it stood a breathtaking 146.7 meters, or 481 feet tall, the tallest man-made structure on Earth for over 3,800 years. It's constructed from an estimated 2.3 million stone blocks. The limestone for the core came from a quarry right on the Giza Plateau. But the beautiful, smooth outer casing was made of fine, white Tura limestone, brought from across the Nile. And deep inside, the king's chamber was built with colossal granite beams, quarried from Aswan, over 800 kilometers to the south. These blocks are staggering. The average block weighs about 2.5 tons, the weight of an SUV. But the granite beams in the king's chamber, they weigh up to 80 tons. That's heavier than a modern battle tank. The mainstream archaeological view is one of immense human organization and ingenuity. For decades, the popular image was of thousands of slaves being whipped into submission. But modern archaeology has completely overturned this. Archaeologists discovered the remains of a sprawling village right next to the pyramids, called Hayt el Ghurab. This was no slave camp. They found bakeries capable of producing thousands of loaves of bread a day, breweries, and caches of fish bones and cattle. they found evidence of medical care, skeletons of workers with broken bones that had been expertly set and healed. These were skilled, paid laborers. Many were likely farmers who worked on the pyramids during the Nile's annual flood, the inundation, when their fields were underwater. It was a form of national service, a sacred duty to ensure the divine order of the universe by building a stairway to the heavens for their god-king. They were fed, housed, and respected. But even with a dedicated, well-fed workforce of 20,000 to 30,000 people, the sheer scale and precision of the task still presents us with profound problems. Chapter 2: The Impossible Precision: Problems with the Official Story. Let's do the math. If the Great Pyramid was built in roughly 20 years, and it contains 2.3 million blocks, the builders would have had to quarry, shape, transport, and perfectly place one massive stone block, roughly every 5 minutes. Think about that. Not just during the day, around the clock. For 2 decades straight. No room for error, no sick days, no technical glitches. It's a pace that would challenge even our modern construction industry. Then there's the quarrying. How did they cut these blocks from the bedrock with such precision? They didn't have steel or diamond-tipped saws. The Egyptians had copper tools, which are relatively soft. Archaeologists believe they used harder dolerite pounders to chip away at the stone. For granite, they may have used copper saws, but not alone. They would have needed an abrasive like quartz sand, constantly fed into the cut, grinding away the stone millimeter by millimeter. Another theory involves drilling holes, inserting wooden wedges, and soaking them with water, causing the wood to expand and crack the stone along a straight line. These methods work, but they are incredibly slow and labor-intensive. Scaling them up to produce a block every 5 minutes seems almost unbelievable. And once you have the block, there's the precision. The Great Pyramid is a masterpiece of geometric accuracy. Its base, covering 13 acres, is almost perfectly level. The difference from one corner to the other is less than 2 centimeters. How? One theory suggests they cut a network of channels into the bedrock, filled them with water, and marked the level line. The 4 sides are aligned almost perfectly with the 4 cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. The alignment to true north is off by just 3/60 of a degree. This is a level of accuracy that is astonishingly difficult to achieve, even with modern surveying equipment. They likely used astronomical methods, tracking the movement of stars to find a perfect north-south line. And then there are the mathematical curiosities encoded in its very structure. If you take the perimeter of the pyramid's base and divide it by twice its original height, you get a number, 3.14, or pi. Did the ancient Egyptians know the value of pi 2,000 years before the Greeks? Or is it a stunning coincidence, a natural byproduct of using simple measurement techniques, like rolling a drum to measure distance? We simply don't know. Chapter 3: Theories of Construction. So with all these challenges, how do the experts believe they actually lifted the stones? The most widely accepted idea is the ramp theory, but it's not as simple as it sounds. A single, long, straight ramp going to the top of the pyramid would have been a colossal project in itself. To maintain a manageable slope, it would have needed to be over a mile long and would have contained more material than the pyramid itself. So, other ramp theories have emerged. Perhaps a zigzag ramp that switched back and forth up one face, or more popular today, a spiral ramp that corkscrewed around the outside of the pyramid as it was being built. A fascinating modern proposal by French architect Jean-Pierre suggests an internal ramp, a hidden spiral tunnel just inside the pyramid's outer walls, which they used to haul blocks to the top. This would explain why we've never found evidence of a massive external ramp, because it's still sealed inside. Next, there's the water theory. The discovery of an ancient harbor near Giza and a papyrus logbook from a foreman named Merer, the oldest papyrus ever found, proves the Egyptians were masters of water transport. The Diary of Merer explicitly describes his crew bringing casing stones from Tura to Giza via boat along man-made canals. Some researchers speculate they took this further, creating a system of canals, locks, and sluices to float the blocks up the side of the monument, or at least to the base. It's an ingenious idea, but it would have required a staggering amount of water and a water-lifting technology for which we have no evidence. Finally, a more controversial idea, the geopolymer or concrete theory. Proposed by materials scientist Joseph Davidovits, this theory suggests that many of the blocks, especially the upper ones, weren't quarried and lifted at all. He argues they were cast in place, like modern concrete. Workers would have carried buckets of a limestone slurry up the pyramid and packed it into wooden molds. He points to microscopic analysis of some blocks that appear to contain air bubbles, hair, and other materials not found in natural limestone. Mainstream geologists, however, remain unconvinced, stating the evidence overwhelmingly points to carved, natural stone. Each theory answers some questions, but leaves gaping new ones in its place. The truth is, no single theory perfectly explains everything. Chapter 4. Beyond the Veil, the Stranger Mysteries. This is where the conversation steps into the shadows, because for many, the sheer perfection of the pyramids feels too advanced for its time, too perfect. One of the most enduring alternative ideas is the Orion correlation theory. Popularized by author Robert Bauval, it suggests the layout of the three Giza pyramids is a deliberate map of the three stars in Orion's belt. The size and brightness of the stars seem to correspond to the size of the pyramids. Furthermore, so-called air shafts deep within the Great Pyramid point with incredible accuracy towards specific constellations that were significant in Egyptian religion. One towards Orion, the celestial embodiment of the god Osiris. Was the Giza Plateau an earthly mirror of the heavens? This astronomical obsession leads to other questions. Why this specific location on Earth? The Great Pyramid sits remarkably close to the geographical center of Earth's landmass. Its coordinates, when entered into a calculator, seem to reflect the speed of light. Coincidence? Or evidence of a profound, lost knowledge of global geography and physics? This has led some to propose that the pyramids were not tombs at all, but functional devices. Perhaps massive power plants, designed to harness Earth's natural electromagnetic energy, using the granite chamber's piezoelectric properties to create vibrations. Or maybe they were tools of sonic levitation, using frequencies to make the giant stones weightless. And of course, there's the most famous and controversial theory of all: ancient astronauts. Popularized by Erich von Daniken's book Chariots of the Gods, the idea suggests that human beings simply couldn't have done this alone. That extraterrestrial beings either gifted the knowledge to the ancient Egyptians or built the monuments themselves as landmarks or beacons. While mainstream science firmly rejects this for lack of any physical evidence, the allure is undeniable. After all, if the ancient Egyptians really managed this monumental feat with copper chisels and rope, doesn't that almost feel like a greater miracle? Chapter 5. Whispers from the Stone, Modern Discoveries. Just when we think the pyramids have no more secrets to give, modern technology starts to prove us wrong. In 2017, an international research team called the ScanPyramids project used a revolutionary technique to peer inside the Great Pyramid without moving a single stone. They used muon tomography. Muons are subatomic particles created when cosmic rays hit the Earth's upper atmosphere. They rain down on us constantly, and they can pass through hundreds of feet of stone. By placing detectors inside and around the pyramid, scientists could track the path of these particles. Where more muons got through, the density was lower, and they found something astonishing. Hidden above the magnificent Grand Gallery, they detected a massive, previously unknown void. It's at least 30 meters long, with a cross-section similar to the gallery below it. Now known as the ScanPyramids Big Void, its purpose is a complete mystery. Is it a hidden construction chamber? A structural stress-relieving feature? Or could it be the real, undiscovered burial chamber of Khufu, still sealed after 4,500 years? This wasn't the only discovery. Thermal scans have revealed mysterious hotspots on the pyramid's surface, suggesting hidden chambers or different materials behind the blocks. And tiny robots, crawling up the narrow air shafts, have found small, sealed stone doors with copper handles, barring the way to whatever lies beyond. The pyramid is not a dead monument. It's a living mystery, and we are only just beginning to develop the tools to listen to the whispers it has held for millennia. Chapter 6. The Human Factor. The real answer? And yet, maybe the most incredible answer is also the simplest one. Not aliens, not lost magic, but the boundless potential, the brilliance, the determination, and the sheer, unyielding willpower of human beings. Perhaps we underestimate the ancient Egyptians. These were the people who developed complex mathematics, intricate medicine, and one of the world's first writing systems. They were masters of organization, of project management, of mobilizing a nation towards a single, transcendent goal. The workers of ancient Egypt weren't just building for their pharaoh. They were building for eternity itself. They believed that by raising these mountains of stone, they were upholding Ma'at, the cosmic principle of order, truth, and balance. They were literally helping to keep the universe from falling into chaos. And maybe, just maybe, a shared goddamn faith like that can move mountains. Or in this case, 2.3 million stones. So, how were the pyramids built? Were they the ultimate product of human ingenuity, using simple tools, brilliant engineering, and decades of backbreaking labor in a way we can no longer fully comprehend? Or are they the last fingerprints of a lost chapter of our own history? A civilization with knowledge we have forgotten? Or even something not of this world at all? One thing is for certain, the Great Pyramid continues to stand, a silent sentinel on the Giza Plateau. It has outlasted empires, religions, and the very languages of its builders. It defies time itself, and it continues to challenge every generation to try and solve its riddle. And maybe that's the real magic of the pyramids. So, what do you think? After hearing the evidence, where do you stand? Are you on the side of pure human achievement? Or do you believe there's a deeper, more mysterious secret waiting to be discovered? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into one of history's greatest mysteries, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. Join me again as we continue to uncover the secrets of our world.